Hi, everybody, and welcome to this session. Today's focus is really on the project. I know that you will receive actually a reminder tomorrow, so look for that reminder again. That there will be that your first observation is supposed to happen on the 2nd, which is this Wednesday. And if you follow the instructions in there, there's a lot of things that needs to be done leading to the actual observations. So this is a very important part of your class. You will be graded on projects, and projects are actually separate grade, and they impact your grade. So please take this project seriously. It is a 4-week observation. If you skip one, you're gonna skip part of the project. So you really don't want to skip any part of it. So October 2nd, which is this Wednesday, is a very important day when you go out and you look for the moon. Then the next observation is October 10th. Then the observation after that is the 17th, which is going to be a treat. Hopefully you guys don't miss that, the 17th. And the final observation is on the 24th. So there are 4 independent observations that you need to do. And each time you do the observation, there are instructions what you need to do on that day. So you follow the instructions and you wait for the next observation, which are separated about 7 days. The first and the second observation are separated by 8 days. So what you're supposed to do is go on the day before, meaning the first observation is October 2nd. So that means October 1st, which is tomorrow, you go out and you try to find the moon. Whether you find it or you don't find it, there are things that you need to do. So you go early in the evening, hopefully around 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. at most. If you want to stay later, that's up to you. Then if you don't see the moon, the plan is to go in the morning and do the same thing again. Once you find the moon, you would have spotted where the moon is. You take all the notes, you sketch everything for that, because the actual observation is not October 1st, but rather it's October 2nd. But based on your previous observations, you know where and when to go. So you don't have to again guess if you did the first observation correctly. So in that case, then you know, for example, at 8 p.m., for example, I will go and I will see the moon rising from the east at a specific location. Since I spotted where the moon is going to be the night before, so I know exactly where these things are. A problem happens, for example, on the 2nd, it's cloudy, or I can't see the moon for one reason or another, then I still have the 3rd to follow up. In other words, the observation is really done over a span of 3 days. You plan your observation the day before the actual observation. You do your observation on the day when it's due. And finally, if either of these two, you run into a problem with the weather or the conditions or anything like that, then you rely on the 3rd day, the day after, and that's it. So if in case, for example, you can't see it on any of these 3 days, you're off the hook. You report that to your project and say, I went the day before, this is what happened, it was cloudy, there was a problem, we couldn't see the moon, especially nowadays. I mean, I know that you guys received the message earlier probably about the closure for the Crafton and the other place. I don't remember which one it was, but our campus, San Bernardino Valley College, is open tomorrow. So there should not be a problem for us. We do the observation and we document it and we report it. So that's the whole point of it. So hopefully, guys, you don't you're on top of that. Now, if in case we can do it tomorrow because of what's going on, let's say, for example, the conditions worsen, you still have Wednesday. If again, we can do it on Wednesday because of the same conditions, the fires that are going on, or it's cloudy, then in that situation, we skip this observation. Let me tell you upfront, tomorrow is actually an important day in the year, okay? Not tomorrow, I mean the 2nd. There will be a solar eclipse. It's not going to be for our area, though. If you go out and look at the sun in the morning of October 2nd, which is a Wednesday, you're going to see the sun normally. Except if you are somewhere in South America, then there is a chance for you to see the lunar eclipse, either partial or even total lunar eclipse. Granted, you have to be in the right spot. So let me share with you some information about that. And that's going to lead us to the first observations, which is kind of simplifies actually the first observation. So let me share with you this website from NASA. So this is actually a website from NASA, and it's documenting the actual eclipse that's going to happen on October 2nd, 2024. It's going to pass mainly through the southern hemisphere. So for us in the northern hemisphere, we're off the hook. Unless you happen to be somewhere in Baja California, on the tip of Baja California, okay? Then there is a chance that you're going to see probably a 3 or a 4% eclipse of the sun. And that is on Wednesday morning. But for us, we are here in the United States, and even not most, all of Mexico, with the exception of this part of Mexico and probably somewhere in here in the ocean near it, you're not going to see any of that. Okay, so you're completely. I mean, if you are somewhere in Argentina, way south of Argentina, not even, or probably Chile, then you will have a lot of chance of, and probably even in Brazil somewhere, you will have a chance of looking at the solar eclipse that's going to happen this Wednesday. But for us, we're going to miss it completely, so we're off the hook. Again, this is the path of totality. This is where the sun will be completely covered by the moon, and at that point, it's basically only a small portion of the land, but mainly it's actually in the Pacific Ocean. So nobody, unless you are somewhere, even in Hawaii, in here, they will have a chance. In Hawaii, it's rated between 40% to 20%. So they will have a partial solar eclipse in Hawaii. But for us, we're completely off the hook. They will have it later in the day. But for us, we're completely off the hook. And that is important because and here it tells you the countries basically that are they can actually go and do the eclipse, and that is going to be in here in the in Argentina and Chile. Okay, but anywhere else it's really partial eclipse actually in Southern America. And Mexico also is listed in here because of that tip, but the United States is completely not listed in here, except probably if you count, I mean, Hawaii, of course, it's the United States. I'm sorry. So the United States is not off the hook. So we have parts of the United States that are going to be impacted by this, but it's not Southern California anyway. It's not the place where we are. So that means since it's going to be a solar eclipse this Wednesday, that you're not going to be able to see the moon. You should not go and look for it. That's the point of the exercise. You should not, just because you know there will be a solar eclipse, therefore you're not going to be able to see the moon. Please take the time to go and teach yourself how to do lunar observation, because that's the whole purpose of the project, is to be able to go outside and be able to locate objects in the sky and start to know how to find them. Okay. Obviously, today, if you woke up way early in the morning and you looked at the sky, you would have seen the moon. That means we are toward the end of this lunar month, because as the sun is rising in the east, the moon is still, I mean, it's a crescent. It was a very thin crescent this morning, but the moon is still coming, just basically being chased by the sun. That means we are toward the end of the lunar month. Tomorrow, there is a good chance you're not going to be able to see it if you wake up early in the morning, because the sun will catch up with it, and it's basically the moon will be actually with the sun. So let's try to track it now. Let me share with you another software in here, the one that we use for our sometimes our labs and things like that. And that is Stellarium. I am in here in San Bernardino, California. And let me change the date to tomorrow, to Wednesday's date, which is the 2nd of October. And the 2nd of October at 9 p.m. I already looked for the moon in here under my, no, not location, I'm sorry, under my search for objects. Okay. And I located the moon, so I know exactly I am zeroed in on the moon. So 9 p.m., October 2nd, which is this Wednesday, okay? 9 p.m. is actually a good time to look at the things, okay? But you will see in here, it's not visible. As a matter of fact, the software is telling me it's below the horizon. There is a number in here that can help you out to see where it is. It's negative 30 degrees below the horizon. So if this is the horizon, clear cut. If you go near the ocean and put your hands like this and you see the horizon, the end of the horizon, near the ocean. I don't mean in here near the mountains or where there are mountains that can block your view of the horizon, or buildings or trees or anything like that. If you go near the ocean, that is your horizon. At that point, the moon is actually below the horizon by 30 degrees. You can clearly see it from a negative 30 degrees in here. So that means that horizon, 30 degrees below the horizon, that means you can't see it. It's not above the horizon. You have to be above the horizon to be able to see it. Furthermore, that's the actual problem that we're running into. Let's look how much it's eliminated. It's 0.1%. You're not going to see the moon until at least it's 10, 20% when it's a crescent. Right now, it's below even 1%. That means it's not lit. That means we're dealing with a new moon. So if somebody comes in and say that they saw the moon on the on the October 2nd, there is something seriously wrong. It can't be seen. 0.1% you cannot see it. 2% you cannot see it. 7% you'll be extremely lucky with very good equipment to be able to see it. Not only that, it has to be above the horizon. It can't do below the horizon. So I know this Wednesday is not going to be possible, but it doesn't prevent that you go out and you look for the moon. Try to teach yourself to do that. Go at 9 p.m., look at the sky. It's going to be a beautiful night, by the way. Provided we don't have this smoke coming from the fires. It's going to be super beautiful because there will be no moon. That means you can see a lot of objects in the sky. This is the Milky Way itself. Hopefully you can see it. I know that there's a lot of haze. Saturn is visible, okay? At least around that time. If you go later or earlier, you can see other objects too. So you don't have to stick to basically look at that. There are a lot of stars, of course. Okay, higher. So many things that you can see, you don't miss. But the point in here, you're doing your lunar observation. Obviously, I'm looking at the west where the sun sets. And the sun, or at least the moon or anything else, rises in the east. And that's basically the other direction. So that's basically the point I'm trying to make in here. So don't miss on it. Just by just knowing the fact that you can see it, please don't miss on it. So the next observation is going to be happening the Thursday after, not the Thursday, so it's going to be Wednesday 2nd, and then Thursday, the 10th of October is our next observation. So I'm going to change the date on that day to October 10th. Okay. And now clearly the moon is visible even at 9 p.m. Okay. At 9 p.m. If I look at the data in here for the moon, oh, I'm sorry. We need to find the moon first. Here is the moon. Okay. First of all, I'm looking at its altitude, and its altitude is 23 degrees above the horizon. That means this is the horizon. 23 degrees is slightly above the horizon. This is at 10 p.m. 9 p.m. I'm sorry. Let's wait another hour. Let's increase this one at 10 p.m. At 10 p.m. it should start setting, so it should go down a little. Okay. But if I go at 8 p.m., at 8 p.m., it is at 27 degrees, way higher. At 7 p.m., I will be lucky if I can see it because of the sun. So again, this is the south, this is the west. It's going to be actually closer to the south where I can see it. Remember, part of the documentation, you're going to tell me how high roughly. So you're not going to tell me exactly 27 degrees or something like that. You're going to raise your hand from the horizon up to, on your zenith, that's 90 degrees. Midway somewhere is 45 degrees. Slightly less than that, you could say slightly less, around 30 degrees or so. So that's basically what the value I'm looking for. On the 10th, let's look at how much it is. It should be around 50%. Indeed, it's 53%. That means it's a quarter moon. As a matter of fact, I can zoom on it and you will see how it looks like to you. It looks like it's half lit, half non-lit. So basically that's how it should look like to you. It's a quarter moon, okay? This is the first quarter. The reason why I know it's the first quarter is because the sun just set in the west and the moon, the lit part of the moon is facing the sun when the sun sets. So that's the first quarter. Now to the best night of this whole observations, and hopefully you guys don't miss that too. First of all, you're graded on it, so hopefully you don't miss it anyway. On the 17th of October. Okay, this you're not going to miss that day because the moon is going to be a full moon. Okay, look how much it's illuminated. It's 99.3% illuminated. That means practically all of it lit. Okay, and it's going to be, this is at 8 p.m. So if I go at 9 p.m., it's going to be even higher in the sky. Okay, if I go even at 10 p.m., it's going to slide higher, 43%. It's almost 45 degrees midway. Okay, so it's going to be super high. And of course, we're looking at the east because it just rose. It rises early when it's full moon. So it rises in the east. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at it early at night. 7 p.m. is visible. Okay, so let's go to a good time. 10 p.m. is perfect actually. And it's at 99.1. So it started to lose a little bit. So it's coming off of its full moon, basically, phase. But it's still, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the whole moon is lit, okay? This is a special treat because of the fact that this is a super moon, and it's called the Hunter moon, because the moon is as close as possible from the Earth. This will not repeat until the year 2037. What year? 2024. So in about 17 years when this thing will happen again. So this is actually once in a lifetime chance to go and look at it. And it's going to be the brightest that it can ever be for you. The biggest is ever going to be for you for the next, basically almost decade and a half. Okay. So this is, that's what the special treat about it. Again, it's the 17th. You're supposed to go on the 16th first spot the moon. You don't need to go very late at night. All you have to go the minute the sun sets, you're going to see the moon rising from the east. So you know exactly what to plan. So the next day, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. is plenty of time to go and document your observations, the fact that the entire moon is lit, provided, of course, it's not cloudy or anything like that, messing up our observations. And if we can do it on the 17th, we still have the 18th to do that. So again, that's observation on the 18th of 17th of October, or the 18th or the 16th, depending on the weather permitting. This is a great opportunity. This is probably the last chance you're going to see this. I mean, in November, there will be something similar. First of all, it starts to lose its supermoonness, if you want to call it that way, because the moon is actually moving away back to its normal further point. Right now it's called the perigee because it's the closest from the Earth as it can get. And then the other problem with November is a month where we typically have more clouds and more rain than October. So if we miss it in October, chances are we're going to miss it forever until probably the year 2037 or something like that. And that is a long time to wait for it. 2037, yeah, it's about 13, it's a decade, okay? It's a decade, a little over a decade, okay? So it's a long time to wait, okay? Anyway, so this is on the 17th. Then finally, your final observation, of course, is on the 24th. So let's move this date to the 24th. It's going to be again a quarter moon, but you will see the part that is lit. So let me zoom out again. Obviously, I don't see the moon. And let's see its location. It's 10 p.m. Okay, on that date, on the 24th. I don't see the moon because its altitude, it's negative 41 degrees. I have to, let's go before, just to see what this number is going to be. Okay, negative 41 degrees. An hour before, it was negative 42, so it was way below. So it's rising, it's coming up. But even if I wait at, let's say, for example, go all the way to 11 p.m., which is 2300, okay? It's still negative 41. I'm sorry, what is the parent? Negative 17. So it's still below the horizon. So let's cross to the next day. It's still below the horizon. Negative 8 degrees. Let's cross to 1 a.m. This is the 1 a.m. on the 25th. Okay. We're talking the day after now. We're not talking barely cross the horizon. Okay. Obviously, if you can wait stay to that late, that's going to be up to you. I wouldn't want to do that. I would go to 6 o'clock in the morning, or for example, something early in the morning when the moon is, I mean, before the sun comes up, it's way in the, I mean, I can see it. 6 o'clock in the morning, I can see it right in the middle of the sky. And it's actually, it's 61 degrees, super high in the sky. And its illumination should be around, okay, it dropped, okay, because it's supposed to be on the 24th when it's a quarter moon. But it's still, if I look at it with a naked eye, it looks like it's a quarter moon. Okay. Granted, it's more like a crescent. Okay. But that's basically how the moon would look like on that day, the 24th. Okay. We're talking 6 o'clock in the morning, so there is some sun coming out. So let's go back early in the night. Okay. So 5 a.m. It's still super high in the sky. 49 degrees, almost 50 degrees. And it's a little bit more lit than what it was before. So ideally the 24th. Okay. So let's try the 24th early in the morning, okay, just to give it a comparison. It's going to be 48%. So if you did your due diligence, okay, if you want the night before, the 23rd, so let's put it on 23rd at 22 p.m., at 10 o'clock at night, okay? 2200. So this is October 23rd. The moon is at 50%, but it's below the horizon. It's negative 16 degrees. So if I go at 9 p.m., it's still below the horizon at negative 23 degrees. So technically on the 23rd at night, I will not be able to see the moon. But how about if I go early in the morning the next day, which is the 24th, when I'm supposed to do the observation anyway? So it's the 24th when I'm supposed to do my observations. So let's move the date to the 24th, and let's put it at 5 o'clock in the morning. And if I can wake up that early, the moon is going to be at 61 degrees, well above the horizon. Well above the horizon. I mean, it's almost in the middle of the sky. And it's going to be at 48% illumination. That means it's going to be a quarter moon. Okay, here it is. Okay. So that's basically my observation. Now, if I happen to miss the 23rd because of some reason, one reason or the other, and the 24th, then I'm going to document what I observe on the 25th. Okay. So this is in a nutshell. It's a big project, not in terms of reporting, not in terms of what you write, but in terms of what you actually do. And that is the key. The key thing in here is that you take the moon, which is a very big object in the sky, and you monitor it for 4 weeks on the row, and you document your observations and you report them. That's the purpose of this whole project. If you miss one observation for one reason or the other, you can still get a lot of credit for your report. But please try not to miss it, including the first observation where I know and you know it's going to be a new moon. And a new moon, you cannot see it. And it's going to be big in the news, at least not for us here in California, but if you happen to be somewhere else in Central America or South America, you're going to have a lot of people talking about it because of the solar eclipse that's going to happen on Wednesday. Okay. Do we have a lunar eclipse that's going to happen sometime this month also? Because usually Let me try to exit this program in here. I can go back. How do I exit this thing in here? Let me minimize it first. Okay, let me stop sharing. Okay, the April 8th, that's way too long time ago. October 17th, a lunar eclipse, but that lunar eclipse, am I sharing with you guys or not? I'm on time and date, okay? Hold on, let me share with you the screen. So there will be a lunar eclipse around that time. But again, the path is not going to be where we are right now. What is the share? Yeah. So again, there will be a lunar eclipse on the 16th or the 17th of October, partial lunar eclipse, okay? And that one is, it's not going to be in, is it? Apparently, we're going to also see that too. It's going to be a partial, okay? Partial lunar eclipse in our area, okay? So again, that's another reason why to go and look for that moon too, okay? So you're going to have also a lunar eclipse on that day, okay? So the 17th, that is, okay? So, I mean, you're lucky. You're getting, I think it's, I would do this project even if it's not graded, okay? I'll do it even if it's not for a grade. Okay, so let's talk about the project itself, okay? So let me, I don't know if you guys, are you guys looking at the instructions for this project? I need at least one person to confirm. Yes.
Not right now, no.
Okay, so let me stop sharing. Okay, there is somebody on the chat. Somebody said yes. They're looking at the page where it says Lunar Observation Project. Are you not? Yes, Ricky? Okay, so let me stop sharing and let me share with you again the page that says Lunar. Okay, so now it looks like it's showing me the screen here. So again, you come to this page, it gives you all the dates and things like that, and it gives you how you're graded and everything else. But let's look at open this file in here. So the first thing I need to tell you about is this PDF file or this Word file. You choose whichever you like, okay? You can choose not to do any. You could just go ahead and start documenting your observation and drafting your reports, even with a pencil and a pen, okay? On a piece of paper, and at the end, taking pictures and uploading them. So you really don't need to follow the instructions or the steps I'm about to show you, okay? As long as you answer all the questions and you do all the steps needed leading to it, you don't need to do this. Option one is Word file. So basically, you open a Word file and you start adding and uploading pictures to it and whatever you want to do to it, or use paint to draw and things like that. Or you can do the PDF file. So let me use the PDF file. So right now I'm clicking not on the actual file, I clicked on the arrow that tells me that I'm about to download something, okay? I'm gonna click Save As. The reason why I do Save As, because I would want to take it to a specific location on my computer that I know how to access. So I came in here to Astro 120, that's the folder, I have it in, and I have actually two versions of it. One I just downloaded earlier today at 4:46 p.m., just before this session started. And another one, which was, I think, the original one, which was from September 23rd. Since I already downloaded it, I'm going to just save it on that same place. It's telling me you're saving over it, that's fine. Okay, now once I save it, I need to show that folder, okay? So again, I need to show the folder. Probably you're not looking at the folder. So let me stop sharing and share with you the folder where it is. There are a bunch of things in there, okay? So hopefully you guys don't. I mean, I'm not going to open them, but I'm going to share the folder. You see the content for the folder. Okay, just to show you that you need to know where you put your file. If I double click on this file, it's going to open it. And that's why I'm doing this step, to show you how you can open it, okay? I double click on it, and it's going to open in my preferred Adobe Reader. So let me stop sharing what I was sharing and share with you how it opened. You need Adobe Reader for this file. If you don't have Adobe Reader, you can do the Word version. The Word version is free for you. So you could always have Word and Microsoft Word installed on your computer for free because you're a student, you're entitled to that license, okay? Now, if you don't have Word and you don't have Adobe Reader, as I said before, you don't need neither. You could just go ahead and start filling it by pen and pencil, and then hopefully you have, make sure your handwriting is legible so that I can read it, okay? If you can't read it, I cannot read it either, okay? Once you have that, let me go into the file in here and share with you the way I would do it is, okay? So it's in here, okay? So this is the file that I just downloaded. Okay, it says Astronomy 120, Fall 2024, and I need to put my name. Since this is a PDF fillable file, I can just put my name in here, okay? And that name will be on my lab report. I mean, on my report in here, project report in here. I don't need to do anything else other than read these instructions. And there is a question in here that I need to read carefully. And it gave me a picture of the moon phase. It tells me where the sun is. It tells me where the earth is and the path of the moon, the orbit of the moon around the earth. Now, looking at this picture of the moon phase, where do you think it is? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Is it D? Is it E? You're going to choose a place and you're going to tell me why. You think that, okay? Then, if you chose, for example, the letter C, okay, I don't know if C is correct or not, so you have to make a decision. So I'm not saying it's necessarily C. But if I chose C in here and I explained why C is the correct choice, then I'm left with the choices A, B, E, and D. Then I'm going to write A in here. This is how the moon would look like. The letter B, which I did not select for this question one, this is how the moon would look like. The letter E, which I did not select, again, I'll put the letter E in here and move on, okay? I probably should put it capital in here. Again, I didn't select A, by the way. I didn't select B either, and I didn't select the letter D either, okay? Because I believe, and I'm not saying this is the correct answer, please don't misread me, okay? That the correct answer is C, and I state my reasons why C is the correct choice in here, okay? Because, and then I have to explain, okay? Now, since I didn't choose A, I need to draw how the moon would look like when it is in position A between the Earth and the Sun. So here's the Sun, here's the Earth, here is where the moon is. Now, how would the moon would look like if it's in position A? So I need to draw a picture. I can draw it by pen or pencil on my computer. Once I'm done drawing it, I can take a picture of it, upload it to my computer, preferably in the same folder. Then I come in here and say, double click, and JavaScript, okay? So I need to enable JavaScript, yeah? Because it thinks that maybe I am doing something illegal. So if you encounter that problem, please enable it. Then it tells me, okay, find the picture that you would want me to upload, okay? So I think this is the picture, okay? And it processed it, and I uploaded it, okay? The second one, picture B, of course, this is not the picture. This is just a kind of a picture B. Again, I'm going to browse. Hopefully, I put it in the same folder, and probably this is how it looks like. okay? Or maybe that's not the good picture. So maybe let's try this one, okay? Open the folder and upload it in there. Obviously, these are not the pictures. I'm just showing you that you can upload pictures to your PDF file. You take the picture, you draw the picture. It has to be drawn, hopefully by hand, of how the moon would look like in those positions, A and B, and in my case, E and D. And then I upload those pictures. This is how the moon would look like had it been in position A, had it been in position B, had it been in position E, had it been in position D, okay? Because I chose C, okay? I may be wrong, okay? So the answer probably is not C. And then I move on to the next two. And finally, this is my actual observation. Obviously, the observation here, it says October 2nd, but I probably didn't do it on October 2nd. I did it on October 3rd, okay? Or October 2nd. I did it actually on October 2nd. And the time now I chose because it doesn't tell me here the time. So probably the time was 9 p.m., okay? And what was, okay, so the format in here, I need to fix that, okay? Okay, I need to fix this thing in here. It's giving me an error, okay? So I will change this, is it gonna be probably 090000 maybe? Yeah, so it has to say 9 p.m. apparently. So you have to write it this way. So if it's, you have to write it military time. So if it's 2100, you have to write it, if it's 9 p.m., write it 2100, okay? That's what this thing was complaining about. You are not writing time, okay? So if it's 9:30, and if you're going to use this software, this thing, you're going to write 2130 to 2130, okay? That's how it's read 9:30 p.m. So I'm not going to fix it. I think it's good, okay? So please pay attention to the way that you write time in here. It's looking for military time again, okay? Here you have a date picker, which makes it easy. So for example, if it was not on the 2nd, on the 4th, no, we don't do it on the 4th. So if it was the 1st, then I just have a date picker in here. The minute you click on this, you pick up the date in here, so you don't have a problem. But in here, it has to be military time, okay? Please don't give me a seconds, okay? Because that's really too much, okay? Increments of 15 minutes is good. 9, 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, 10 p.m. That's a good thing, okay? So if it's 10 p.m., it's 2200, okay? So that's really how this thing is working. Now in here, how did the moon look to you? It did not look at all, okay? So I know from researching this one that the shape of the moon is not there, okay? Not present or something like that, okay? So that's probably what I should write. And based on my research, I know this is a new moon, okay? And I explain why, okay? I explain why this is a new moon. I didn't see it all the nights, whether in the evening or early in the morning, okay? And the fact that I didn't see it when I researched it, it turns out that we're dealing with a new moon, okay? So I have to put everything. I can't just put the new moon in there. So I have to explain what happened in that observation. It has to be detailed for full credit. Again, I hand draw the moon. Obviously, it's going to be a circle with that's completely blocked. So in this case, again, similar to the previous fashion, all I am going to do is just upload the picture. I upload it to my computer, and it's taking a long time because probably it's too big. Say okay, and here is the picture. And move on to my next observation and my next observation and my next observation until I'm done with it. Finally, you're going to draw your conclusion here, what you have learned from this experience, what kind of things that you're how you learned it and things like that. So in here, not just the moon phase. I know it's the moon phase for the case of a new moon, you don't have a location, but for if it's a quarter moon or it's a full moon, you have to tell me where it was in the sky when you looked at it. Again, you're not looking at exact values, so it was very close from, for example, halfway between the horizon and the zenith, or I don't know, and it was to the east or the west or to the south or southwest or southeast. So you have to give me a little bit more indications. I'm not looking for specific values in you. I'm not expecting you to go and get some fancy equipment and start measuring angles. No, all I want to is just a description of what you're looking at and how it looks to you, okay? So completing this whole thing is required by the due date, which I believe is somewhere in November, okay? Somewhere in November 9th, okay? So the actual project is due on November 9th, okay? And that's basically in a nutshell for this whole thing. Any questions related to the project? Obviously, a lot of people are not here, and I expect you guys to have some questions. Please send those questions. And if they're something that I missed or something that is going to benefit everybody, I'll have to send it as an announcement to everybody in the class so that they know that this thing was raised and this thing, the answer to it is this way or that way or something like that. Okay? So I don't expect everybody to have questions right away. Sounds good? Yes? Thank you, Jasmine. And I don't know how to say the name, but I'm going to try to say Bania. Okay. Anyway, okay, very good. Thank you. uh, if you guys don't have any questions, that's really all I have planned to talk about. I know some of you had exams last week, others have exams this week, and you have assignments that are due and reminders. So please pay attention to those things and send questions if you have, other than the project, of course. The homework has been pushed all the way to, okay, no problem, Jasmine. Anyway, the thing with it is that as I was saying, you have a lot of things going on. The homework has been pushed, and there will be another session dedicated just for the homework to make sure that nothing is surprising in there. It's, I think, way in October, but it's October soon. So we probably are going to have a session again dedicated to the homework, maybe a week from today, okay, on the same time on October, what is the week from today? It's going to be early October anyway. So October 7th, okay? I know the assignments are due on October 19th, so we still have enough time to go through all of them and make sure you have everything done right on those. Okay, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to end this session. First, I need to stop the recording and then end the session. And this session, of course, is going to be uploaded later on. So hopefully it's going to be available for everybody who are not here, a lot of them, because stuff is happening soon. Thank you.